Hello everyone, welcome to Easy Economics. How are you all doing? I hope you all are doing good. Today I brought for you all discuss question series, and the question I brought for you all is from the topic of inflation. The question asks us discuss whether or not inflation is harmful. It's an 8 marker question, and like always, we are familiar with the format. We need to produce a well balanced argument. However, it's up to you to whether brush it off with a conclusion or not. My advice to all my learners is that it's always good if you brush it off in order to give it a complete look with a conclusive statement. All right. Now the question says discuss whether or not inflation is harmful. You won't be getting more than 5 marks if you just talk about one side of the argument. You'll have to produce a well balanced argument. And the question asks us to state whether inflation is harmful or not. So first, we'll go upon defining what is inflation. Inflation refers to a persistent increase in the prices of goods and services. If we say that yes, inflation is harmful, how will we go about talking it? Here I mentioned point. However, we would be writing it in paragraph form. Firstly, we'll say that yes, inflation, if it is highly fluctuating and if it is a double-digit inflation, so the country would be, the economy would be in a difficult situation and it would have difficulty in combating with the consequences of inflation. Um, we say that yes, inflation causes a fall in the value of money. It causes a fall in the purchasing power of people. If prices are rising, so what is going to happen is that each unit of money will be able to buy fewer goods. So if people used to buy the same set of basket of goods earlier on, because now the inflation is highly fluctuating, they won't be able to buy the same basket of goods. So the value of money is going to fall. They're going to experience a fall in their purchasing power. So what's going to happen is the people are going to lose confidence in using the country's currency. Furthermore, what's going to do it? It's going to increase the level of uncertainty. It's going to make it hard or difficult for the firms as well as the households to determine the prices for the product, and it will be likewise difficult for them to plan ahead for their future purchases. Why? Because it would create a lot of uncertainty about the prices in future, and this highly fluctuating inflation rate is going to create an unstable situation in the economy. As a result, what's going to happen is that the level of investment in the economy is going to fall, and investors are going to be reluctant in investing in the country. And as a result, economic growth overall is going to witness a sharp fall. The level of economic activity is taking place. Firms are going to be reluctant in expanding their production level of activity. The firms are going to be reluctant in order to expand their production facilities. This means that it might be possible that the level of employment might also fall. So it might be possible that unemployment rises. They might lay off workers and contract or reduce the size of their operations. Furthermore, what's going to happen is that the local goods are going to get expensive. They're going to get less competitive because now the inflation is increasing. So what's going to happen is that since locally manufactured goods are going to get less competitive in the international arena, exports are going to witness a dip. As a result, what's going to happen is that the current account would be in an unfavorable situation. It might be possible that either the current account witnesses a deficit or a fall in its current account, right? Current account balance could either be witnessing a fall or would either be negative. Furthermore, it could also be possible that since the employees are also experiencing inflation, they might press on higher wages in order to combat the adverse effects of inflation, and this might cause a wage price spiral. Furthermore, it's also been seen that the fixed income group are going to be the one who's going to be losing because value for money is falling. So they are going to be experiencing a fall in their living standards as a result. The people who are depending on fixed income group, those on pensions and old age benefits, they are going to experience a fall in their living standards. As a result, there is going to be a fall in the real GDP. If the inflation rate is too high and it's creating a lot of uncertainty, the fixed income group is going to experience a fall in their living standard. However, it could be that maybe inflation is not harmful if it is a demand pull inflation or it's relatively low or of a stable nature, or if it is below that of rival countries, then it's suitable, or then you can say it might not be that harmful. If it is stable, relatively low, it's hovering around 3%, then you can say that yes, inflation is beneficial. Why? Because it might encourage firms to expand, and they're going to expand the production operations. A low and stable level of demand pull inflation may make entrepreneurs optimistic about future sales. Furthermore, inflation will reduce the real burden of any debt that the government might hold or the household and the firms have built upon. This means that households and firms will no longer be bankrupt, since it's going to create a positive aspect regarding the future scenario. So when the firms are going to expand, it might be possible that investment level of activities is going to increase. As a result, they might expand their operations, the employment level will increase, economic growth might take place. As a result, the firms might experience an increase in their revenues. And since people are going to be experiencing a rise in their income, the spending would also increase, again further indicating the firms to expand their production facilities if it is going to be backed by demand pull inflation. Overall, it would give a sign of a healthy economy. The economy is growing, and it, in other words, it could also mean that yes, it's reducing the risk of deflation. So we can brush it off with a conclusion that most of the consequences of inflation are, yes, taken as harmful, but it depends on factors such as what is the rate of inflation and how fluctuating or how unstable the rate is, and what is the rate of inflation vis-a-vis the other countries. So as long as the rate is lower than that of the competitors and it's not creating a lot of uncertainty and it's in control, it's stable, it's low, it's beneficial for the economy. I hope you've understood how to go about this question, and now you will have no difficulties in answering an 8-marker for inflation. See you in the next question. Happy learning.